Thank you so much for that. I'll go ahead and take us right into frame here. And we have our mining outpost exploration team assembled with the entire PC crew mission team, plus Yakovich, Libra, and Riley. Oh, wait, not the entire. Marcus was not on there, or Ugi. Did
Or was
Ugi? Yeah, did Ugi and Marcus want to be on that?
Eh, not initially.
Okay.
Nope.
Oh, right.
No strong desire to be on that away mission.
Okay. All right. Your pilot, who is... No, I'm not sure who your pilot is right now.
Let us know when you decide.
I had I got distracted by the slinging stones box and realized that is a team that is working on the actual mechanisms by which you will sling a stone or an asteroid past that defense network. Okay, so no, the who is piloting is kind of unnecessary to decide. It's just an unnamed NPC. And so they're able to take you close enough to the outpost. They can't. No, I take that back. Yes, they can dock you with the dock for the outpost because there is no ship currently docked there.
I was going to say, what kind of space mine doesn't have some place to dock a ship?
Well, I was thinking that it would have a ship currently docked there, but no, that does not make sense either. So, yeah, an unoccupied dock. It is only a one dock outpost, but you're able to basically clamp on there and take the airlock, step out your vehicle. You are doing a mag spacewalk along the floor of the planks of the dock before you even reach the door to the outpost. So you will need to be in vac suits. Unless you're protected by something else, of course.
Nope, that would be Marcus, who's staying behind. We are in vac suits.
Yes.
All right. Your security, Libra, is Libra and Yakovich are looking out the window of your airlock. Yakovich a little bit anxiously, but calm, and well, Libra, just Libra. Once the air has cycled through, Libra gives an all clear and opens up the outer door and starts proceeding down a catwalk. That's the word I was looking for. Down a catwalk away from this dock where your ship is clamped.
What is the catwalk above?
It's above the asteroid.
Okay, so we're just sort of outside.
You are just out. Yeah.
It's like a raised platform,
right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, raised platform or a walkway.
That's fine. Just trying to understand.
Yeah. So to give a bit better, more vivid image, yes, the dock that, as it's called a dock, is really just a place for your ship to clamp and kind of spin about on the outside of this asteroid as it hurtles through space. There's a walkway from that clamping area to a door that looks like it goes into the asteroid and into the outpost. There are, I believe I mentioned this to you last time, but there is a what looks like a turret gun designed to potentially repel intruders. But Armstrong, I believe, informed you that it was not powered.
I would ask if it's automatic or not, but I think we can safely assume the way things in this system tend to trend that it probably is. We should maybe disable that before we try to go inside, assuming we ever want to turn anything on in there.
It's the kind that's more designed for anti-vehicle. It probably wouldn't do much to a large ship. It is still just a
It's
heavy
not the
weapon.
ship I'm worried about it shooting.
It's not positioned to aim at anybody entering the outpost unless it were to hit the asteroid itself. But you
All right.
certainly can go over and explore it. I'm not trying to discourage that.
No, I get it. I think we can probably go inside knowing that.
Okay. Okay. Suffice to say, it does not move or indicate any kind of activation as you guys are clamping along the walkway towards the door, or even as you reach the door.
That's good.
And in front of you is a locked airlock outpost door.
All right, we give up.
Of the several people we have brought with us, who thinks they can get it open? That was a real question.
Yeah, I do actually have sneak.
Okay. Does Archibald want to give it a try?
Archibald will give it a try.
All right, go ahead
The
and roll
old
that.
college try. Dex or otherwise.
For this, unless you can come up with an argument otherwise, I think it would be intelligence. This is
Okay.
yeah, this isn't a gym locker or a secured door. This is an
Not
airlock.
picking a lot. Yeah. Okay.
So, Archibald is a bit unfamiliar with this design. There are a couple tricks that Archibald knows that would normally be able to fool an airlock, some of the less secured airlocks, and this doesn't look like a particularly high security airlock. These tricks should have worked, but these people have built things just a little bit differently. Libra says that they could always go get some cutting torches if you're not concerned about being able to close and lock this on your way in or back out.
Well, I'm concerned about it on the way in, but not permanently.
Doesn't Libra have mining laser arms?
Libra has mining laser arm weapons. Does Archibald ask her that, though?
I mean, do we really need to go back to the ship? Looking pointedly at Libra's arms.
Libra looks over at Archibald, looks down at her arms. These are weapons.
Right, tools, weapons. I mean, you know.
Right, so we'll need some tools.
Okay,
Valerian, do you know what it is we'll need to get this door open?
Yeah. Yakovich,
Go get it.
Do we have a? I just have a meta tool.
Yeah.
Probably a toolkit would include the.
No, we're going to let the construction worker figure out how to force the door.
I think Valerian started listing off the various tools, and on Izia's go get it. Just yes, sir. And
Wait, isn't the answer just demo charges?
What's that?
Isn't the answer just demo charges?
I'm sure there are a variety of options. I know I've seen these opened by hand tools before, but I'm not sure they'll work. We'll let him solve it. It's fine. Could be an empowering moment.
Riley looks around, setting off explosives.
Well, I'm assuming that if that's the solution we're going to employ, we'll be warned.
She looks a little bit excited.
Izia does not. Does not appear to be a fan of the explosives idea.
I mean, it might cause a little more damage than necessary. And we've got what, 24 hours, right? More or less.
Yeah, you've got for your part. I think when I said 24 hours, I should have broken it out a little bit better. You've got about 12 hours for your Slinging Stones crew to construct things. It probably took you about 2 hours to get out to this base here. Um,
It'll take them a while to figure it out and then a while to do it. I think is
yeah.
basically where we're headed with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the part where they're figuring it out is part that you can freely spend. The part where the time that they need to do it is time that they'll need to be on the ship and doing it.
But regardless, spending an hour here is not too big a deal.
No, not at all.
What does Valerian come back with?
Well, while you're waiting for Valerian to come back, Riley is peering at the door as if there were a window that she could look through. Just doing that kind of, lift up on toes and lean in. Then she crosses her arms and steps back. A couple minutes later, Valerian does trundle back with a few tools cast into a net. And he see, does anybody here have fix aside from Amaya?
I don't know. Is that one of the many ones I have a +0 in? Nope.
Okay. Well then, Valerian and Amaya. Amaya is familiar with the various tools and implements that he has brought. Get to work with a combination of cutting and explosives. There's Valerian's going to basically do as little cutting as possible because that is the most time-consuming part. Enough to get explosives in to points that he identifies and locates with a meta tool, basically using a stud finder.
So you realize once they've done this, I'm just pointing this out, will have escalated from trespassing to property damage. Now, admittedly, these aren't terribly friendly people here to begin with.
And to the best of our knowledge, there's no one here. Or if they are, they're dead.
Yakovich.
I mean, we didn't even get it to go away, and their defenses are down.
What a cheerful thought.
Well, I wasn't trying to be cheerful.
You don't say.
I don't.
You hear a deep metal rapping on the door in front of you. Libra withdraws her arm, says, "There, we have knocked now."
Oh, well, that solves everything. I think that's brilliant.
And Libra starts ushering basically the kid starts ushering, kind of nudging Riley back away from the soon-to-be moderately explosive door. It's been about 15 minutes of work from Yakovich and Amaya. And they both do the same. Suggest that the rest of you back away from the door.
As you did already a while ago.
Okay. Again, I guess that would just be Archibald if he was still there. And once it's safe and everyone's clear, and trigger it, door pops open. Kind of just floats out away from the asteroid.
Kind of eerie when you ain't got no sound. I assume
What's
this
inside?
asteroid has no atmosphere.
This asteroid has no atmosphere. You're correct.
I don't even know if it's possible for an asteroid to have atmosphere. Probably not. Not enough gravity.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think there is. Not without
And yes, much of one probably not.
Not without some very strong pre-tech or TL6. Well, TL5 actually. Do it.
Something to generate an artificial gravity.
Yep.
Any hoozles.
The inner door of the airlock is much less work. Once you're inside, it's basically just push a button and it opens for you.
And then a bunch of air flows out.
No,
Launching it off into space.
no.
Oh,
There's
interesting.
no atmosphere inside the outpost either.
All right.
It is dark, and there's a short hallway in front of you. At the end of that hallway is looks like a receiving room for cargo and supplies, just straight in from the airlock, and hallways that cut off from, or intersections that cut off from this hallway at both sides.
Is there any sign of security cameras, anything like that?
There are security cameras.
Is the wiring on them obvious? Or do they run it through the walls?
It's run through the
Somehow.
walls.
Really? In a mine? Okay. They have false walls here?
Well, the outpost itself is actually I didn't think about that. For some reason, I was picturing the this outpost here as having metal walls, and I'm going to continue running with it. They have built a structure within this asteroid. A
It didn't
fortified
even occur to
structure.
me until I was asking the question. I just wondered.
I'm glad
Well,
you
then I
did,
can't
because
follow the
that's
wires to wherever their office is then, so I'll just have to start looking for it, which I do.
yeah. I'm glad you did ask, because it reconciles what I had imagined with with everything else. You could, however, follow those wires in the walls with a meta tool if that's what you want to do.
If somebody has one and wants to trace them back to wherever they were running this place from, yes, I think that's a good place to start.
Okay. I recall Archibald had one, right?
Had one what?
Meta tool?
Yes, I do have a meta tool.
Okay.
I can only imagine Maya has meta tools as well, but
Yeah, but unfortunately Nox isn't here, so I'm looking at you.
I don't really know how to use it. I assume I just kind of use it for like some
That's
basic
okay.
weapon maintenance, and that's it.
Right. Valerian probably does for what it is I have in mind, so I think we're okay. People are welcome to search around for whatever it is they want. I'm going to go try to find the office.
Okay.
With whatever help I need.
I reckon we need to figure out when the last time anyone was alive here.
There will be records in the office.
All right. So Izya
Unless you
is.
plan to do it forensically.
We'll say that Izya is going with Amaya to the office, since Amaya does also have a meta tool and can follow those lines. What does everyone else want to do?
Probably gonna look for like living quarters,
Okay.
which may be in the same direction. I mean, I can't imagine the really like office. Like, I can't imagine like the admin and living quarters are particularly expansive.
No,
this-
the asteroid wasn't that big to begin with.
Yeah. But anyways, that's what I'm gonna look for. I'm gonna look for signs of life.
Okay. And
Over.
those are the two active PCs that we have with us, so I'm going to put you on separate sides of this box here. And
Stay on your side.
Riley is going with Archibald, so that puts Yakovich over there with Izya. Izya. It's not hard to follow that line to find the office. As I said, the asteroid isn't very big. It's larger inside than it feels like it should be, but not by any kind of like metadimensional or magical stretch. It's just that the asteroid looks small on the outside. You've got probably a moderately sized warehouse inside this asteroid, with associated rooms for storage of outpost supplies, okay, and various stuff.
Do we see anything inconsistent with people having left deliberately?
You do not. There's as Izya
Encouraging.
is following these lines, there are no signs of any kind of struggle. Doors have been closed along the way, and not necessarily not locked. and whatever doors Izzy does open along the way, he finds rooms that have been emptied. Storage rooms, pantry. There's a mop in one of them, just kind of floating around.
Is their mop technology different than the rest of the sectors?
It is not.
Disappointing.
Once
My
is
suspension of disbelief has been destroyed.
once Izia finds the office, he finds it in a similar state. There's nothing here of any particular value. There was clearly place for computer equipment. There's a desk that's bolted to the floor, and anchorings and screws and stuff, brackets for a computer and a monitor to be anchored to that desk. And whatever was being anchored there, whatever was attached to the desk, is gone.
So the hope here, basically, was that they had to have a posted license of some kind to be here or something like that, and nobody bothered to take it with them, because why would you?
There
But
are decorations around the walls, and there are what look like certificates or lists of instructions or rules or something, depending on how well Izzy reads Russian.
not at all. But fortunately, I have the NPC who does with me, so
You
I'll
do.
turn him loose on those.
Okay. Well, Valerian does start to pore over them and very quickly identifies that, yeah, these look like very standard, basically, what's that thing you get in the fast food place? The A certificate.
The Happy Meal.
Not the
Health and
Happy
safety.
Meal.
Oh, like the health inspection?
Yes.
Right. Yeah, there's
Yes.
probably some kind of similar process for asteroid mines, so I'm assuming we can at least find that paperwork.
You can.
Because why would you not? You might come back. Why wouldn't you leave it here?
Yeah.
And this culture doesn't believe in paperwork.
It's it is all posted to the walls, along with what look like a couple of motivational posters. There are no cats on them, unfortunately.
How can they be motivational?
Well,
What do isolationist Russian space miner motivational posters look like? Yeah, I'm actually genuinely curious.
I'm not real sure myself. Anybody have any suggestions?
Something
it a
like the project needs materials?
Is it a puppy saying "hang in there"?
No, it's not a puppy staying hanging there. I like the project needs materials. I like that angle.
Yeah, these people seem to have been really focused
Right.
on the project. So,
Yeah, it's probably like, yeah, great project propaganda.
right, do your part. Help us do whatever it is we're doing.
Mhm.
That kind of thing.
Yes, and there's a lot of blue theming on these motivational posters.
Is there any cool iconography of a blue sunset or something?
There is, in fact. It could be a sunrise or a sunset, but Valerian confirms that no, that word is sunset. And if you look at that motivational poster with its blue sunset iconography and the beautiful blue sunrise sunset landscape, maybe they were trying to build something beautiful.
I do some photography of the motivational posters.
Okay. All right.
Does any of us tell us anything about when they left here? Last question, I promise.
No worries. I was just about to ask what questions you had. So the certificates and all that really only tell Yakovich when last inspections were. There isn't really anything on those walls that give more current or more recent dates.
Well, when was last inspection? Are they still on the same calendar as the rest of us?
Yeah, they were, just for simplicity's sake, and it was 9 months ago, so not really helpful to your time frames. However,
Well, it explains some things because you get all the people off the asteroid mines first if they needed to be on the planet for when your cool project went live, right?
Yep. That's been kind of my thinking.
searching through
Okay.
the drawers, I imagine, right?
Yeah, whole place.
Yep. That was just the walls. Through the drawers, you find more paperwork that has been left behind. And go ahead and roll me a. What would be
Administer.
good?
It's got to be administer.
Sounds like an
Finding
administer to
valuable
me.
paperwork. I know.
Mhm.
Okay, administer. I don't really care which mental stat it is. They're all the same.
We'll go with wisdom for a quick research. Okay. Yeah. Izzy is able to quickly sort through and find something that looks like a shift schedule. And pulling Valerian over to examine it, Valerian does confirm that there was a phased rollout of workers from the asteroid. There was a skeleton crew that kept the mine basically functional long enough to shut some things down and get the last parts that they were salvaging is the word I'm looking for, salvaging from it back to the planet.
Okay. When were they done?
They were. Hang on, real quick. Now I do need to reference my notes to make sure that I'm in the right time frames here.
What color is the star in this system?
It's a regular main cycle star, so red or not red, yellow.
Okay.
So Superman would have powers here.
Superman would have powers here.
He would. Huh?
That's the weirdest thing.
All right, I use my heat vision.
I'm missing something here. There we go. Does anybody recall? Because I don't appear to have put down the exact timing. When I said that the last. Oh, I'm dumb. Hang on. I know where it is. Enjoy this music while I
Oh boy.
pull up the right documents.
Can't tell me what to do.
Fair. Oh man, I gotta remember
Okay.
this.
So, you guys are currently. Let's see, the 19th was your time here. That phased rollout and shutdown of the this asteroid base was a little bit over a month ago, which aligns with the rest of the shutdown information you've gotten.
All right, so whatever happened, it probably happened on purpose. What kind of materials were they trying to send down to the planet?
They were taking the equipment apart. They were taking
Yes,
the.
but before that.
Oh, what the
Like, what was
function of the
what
actual.
was what was this asteroid's composition, presumably?
This asteroid, they had mined out various rare metals, and this particular mining outpost had already finished with this asteroid and was just being used as an outside base or a mobile base kind of that's near enough to other asteroids that it could act as a receiving station for ships to go out, pick up, process, do some minor, moderate repairs. It was basically just processing rare metals of asteroids around it at its the end stages of its life. all that to say, there's nothing particularly special about it. I'm gonna move over to Archibald for a minute here. Archibald
Hooray.
looking for living quarters, and is able to find what looked like a military barracks style quarters. There's your traditional 2 bunks to a bed space arrangement in one room with a uh, a room interceding or between the hallway and the actual sleeping barracks. Um, Historically, as I understand, those were more to keep soldiers in the barracks than to protect soldiers that were sleeping there when the soldiers should be, just sleeping. And that looks a little bit like what this setup is arranged to do. You've got the desk arranged more to see who might be coming in and out of the sleeping area of this room, of this barracks room, or the barracks room past this little office. And a check-in system between the two. The beds are empty, obviously. The whatever sheets and blankets covered them have been stripped, and there don't appear to be anything in any of the various lockers lingering about.
Okay. Is there? I mean, based on what it is just found out, I don't know if there's really necessarily much more to really glean from this, right? No signs of struggles, no dead bodies. Nothing exciting.
Yeah, I'm
Unless
sure
someone
that
left their journal or something here.
Izia is communicating what he's found along the way as well.
No, I
And
keep all the motivational posters a secret. They're extremely valuable media.
might be able to make some money off those.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can hear
And
about the motivational poster.
you certainly could spend some more time searching all of the individual lockers. The few that Archibald might have nudged open or taken a look into didn't really have anything. You got a pen in one. A
And it's
little.
not more advanced than our pen technology, right?
Oh, these actually are more advanced than your pen technology. Well,
Well then.
than our pen technology, yeah.
Wow.
These don't lose their ink in space.
How
Our
fun.
pen technology is that advanced. There's like entire episodes of Seinfeld dealing with that.
I don't actually know if that's advanced or not.
That's okay, me neither.
It just sounds good.
It does sound good. But regardless, yeah, like I said, it doesn't sound like there's gonna be anything else really to learn here. Other than basically knowing that they pretty much all my questions have been answered
Okay.
at this point.
You guys have access to this, the entirety of this outpost. You've already explored and discovered that there's no threats waiting for you down the corridor. It may look spooky, and Riley is hugging pretty close to Archibald, but those more experienced among you are certain enough that there's nothing here. You've got the run of the place. So I'll throw out there that if there's any other questions you think to ask, we don't need to go turn by turn or crawling through this.
Yeah. The only other thing I can think of again is whether there's, if we find anything like any journal literature records, like
Okay.
I guess like personal records, like someone written down from their perspective.
Yeah. That would most likely be in the barracks area, and it wouldn't take very long to do a search of
Yeah.
the barracks, and what few other recreational spaces might have something like that.
Yeah. I imagine most likely it would have to have been accidentally left behind. So.
Mhm.
You know.
Well, why don't somebody give me a an wisdom notice check for this?
I will do that. Can
Okay.
Riley help me look?
Riley can help you look. Riley actually seems to be fairly keen at finding things that are out of place. So you get a +1 from her.
Yay! I'm glad I asked. Now don't go away.
And Riley seems to feel a little bit, oh my goodness, empowered by having been asked to help.
Let's see. Can I use my bounty hunter level 2 to re-roll that? I don't know if that's really investigate leads in pursuit of a target or not, but it seems like it might be.
Justify how it's a target and give it to you.
I'm looking for specifically a journal
Mm-hmm.
or a diary of some sort.
So a journal or diary, I think, is something that you would find in pursuit of a target. I'm looking for the bigger picture target that you're searching.
I'm stalking it. I know. Sorry, my robot vacuum's making noise downstairs and it's confusing me. In regards to like figuring out, so Izzy already found out basically they returned to the planet, right?
Mhm.
So beyond that, I don't think. Yeah, I guess that I can't really justify beyond that because it's like we already know where they went. And
I
also
mean-
again, it's just a matter of whether they forgot it here or not.
It's clear that we're up here to get something done. So, maybe more about their goals. Like, sure, they went back to the planet, but why did they come up here in the first place? As a thought.
I still feel like that. Yeah, I don't think that necessarily. I guess kind of a little bounty hunter esque, and hey, understanding what your prey is thinking, but also I do find it kind of hard to think of it as prey.
Yeah, and I'm trying
As a
not to
bounty
let
target.
the extra die or
Yeah.
the reroll be too broad.
Yep.
I do think I just to stretch it a little bit for you. If we frame it as your target is the Blue Sun Project, whatever that is, I think that would be framing. It's a little bit far, but I'd give it to you.
That's anything I can find out. So yeah, that's I guess what in the world it is because we still won't have any real specifics on what this great project actually is, right?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay. Well, if you'll give it to me, I'll re-roll.
I will.
Appreciate it. Okay.
all that.
Man, boy howdy, it's 1 and a 4, a 1 and a 2. 4. Well, I did have a 4 and a 2 before, but still. Nothing above average yet.
Your search doesn't turn up anything of any particular note.
Ah, well, I tried.
You could certainly spend more time if you think there's value to be found here. This was just the quick cursory search. We don't want to spend a whole lot of time here. Roll. If you say that you're turning everything upside down, then I would give that to you without a roll.
Well, we're not in. So, do we have any other ways to spend our time? Does anyone have any ideas on that front?
Not really. You might as well be thorough. in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're pretty much just waiting for the team to put together the asteroid test, essentially, right?
Yeah.
And we don't, unless we know of another mining base somewhere nearby.
I
There
know that one is any different than the other for our purposes right now.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Armstrong did identify multiple, but the others would not be considered nearby for your time frames.
Okay. Well, then let's just go into their research.
Okay.
We're certainly not worried about them coming. I don't think we have any indication they're coming back.
It sure doesn't look like it, no.
None so far. Okay. Yeah, the whole mission away team here can put effort into turning over every table, every desk, every bed.
Slashing open the mattresses.
Sure. Opening drawers and tearing them out.
Yeah. Make sure there's no false bottoms.
And with a more thorough search, taking about an extra hour and a half, you do turn up a couple of small items that are more or less exactly what you said. Things that got caught in something and missed, basically. Or perhaps hidden away and forgotten. You find a small hidden candy stash of blue sunset themed chocolates. They are individually wrapped in foil and even says in Russian, Valerian will translate for you again, that that they're specially designed for outpost miners to look like asteroids and survive the harsh non-environment.
Like asteroids. We should probably test those before we eat them.
They depending on regardless of whether you test them or eat them first, they're basically Rice Krispie balls of chocolate.
Oh.
And somebody finds, to their surprise, that they randomly have little dollops of jelly in them, representing rare minerals and things.
That actually sounds gross.
It does. I was like, oh, chocolate and Rice Krispies. That sounds good. Nope, you've ruined it.
Well,
This is like the This is like the what is it? Gosh, what do they call it? Bernie spots or something like that, or
Well, if there's
the Harry
random,
Potter thing.
if there's random jelly in them and they're not that big, it's just going to be like hardly any jelly and weird and disappointing with a bunch of air bubbles.
It's random jelly in that not all of them have the jelly. It's not in random spots inside them.
Yeah, not every asteroid has rare mineral deposits. Jeez.
You've got some kind of strawberry-like flavor. It's not exactly like strawberry. Something vaguely grape. Definitely some kind of caramel molasses.
So it's like when you go to IKEA and you eat stuff with lingonberries in them, and you're like, "That's cranberry," but wait, is it?
Exactly. Yeah. But more to the point of your search, you do find some kind of diary writings. some diary writings that talk about this Blue Sunset project. And these misplaced or lost diaries don't go into any great detail about the project. Valerian is skipping through and kind of just looking for where this particular diary has doodled the Blue Sunset logo or iconography, and reading from those pages. There seems this whole they don't know what they're building theory that you'd been building is being proven by this diary and a few references in other writings. This diary that you've got from a construction worker who notes how excited he was as a teenager graduating their version of high school to be accepted into the Quadrant 7-4 blah 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 construction project. Notes throughout his years of diarying in this small book that he doesn't know what he's doing, and this is noted with decreasing excitement and increasing frustration as he goes from a bright-eyed 18-year-old, 17-year-old, and it's a little bit ambiguous there, teenager to where he was, 9 months ago, a 45-year-old man who's got a wife and a 20-year-old son that he's seen all of 10 times in his life.
Yeah,
And
that's a miserable job.
yeah, um, at the end of it, he writes the same "Glory to Blue Sunset" throughout pretty much any time he references this, but near the end, it's scrawled almost like a signature, like something that you just flow the pen across and get it done with.
All right. And he still went back for it anyway.
Well, what was the other option? Staying on the asteroid?
For all I know.
That's actually a good callback. No, his last few pages there also do mention the not evacuation, but the slow phase out of this base, and some excitement to go back and see his son, measured with reservation, expecting that his son might be busy on the project somewhere else. But he also knew that he was returning to Xandar as this base was shut down.
Okay. So we've learned essentially that these people fairly literally did not know what they were building. That's something.
And it's not just one guy's account. That's corroborated by less voluminous accounts in other scraps of notation elsewhere, uncovered during your thorough search.
Well, that's weird. Somebody very persuasive must have been in charge of these people.
Libra looks over at Izya. Why must they be persuasive?
Keep an entire planet working on something they don't even know what is, risking their lives for it.
Without
For
mutiny.
apparently generations. Hardly unheard. It's basically unheard of.
Like, yeah, how was there not? How do they not have like rebellions? And...
Maybe they are androids.
Does anything in this complex suggest
No,
that?
no, nothing at all. There's even bathroom facilities.
Okay. I'm just gonna suggest that perhaps even the androids are rebelling. Libra.
It was a
So,
joke.
I don't know.
But
Right.
it's not as much of a joke. I don't know if the commanders have informed you, but if we ever are faced with perimeter agents, you may have to destroy me. If I don't kill you first.
Oh, that's a cheerful thought.
I do think I remember reading something about that.
He looks over at Isya again. It's a warning. I don't. And the moral of it is, humans are not as different from androids as people think.
Izzy does not really know what to do with that statement, so he just looks confused.
I mean, you can brainwash a human, right?
Oh, very much so, yes.
Different methods of control, but it is control all the same.
Well, let's see if they've got their rocket launcher figured out.
Yes, we should leave this place. It's depressing. And as Libra is making to walk out, she says, "That was a joke."
It's funny because it ain't.
You guys head on back to the ship unless there was anything else you wanted to explore about this base.
Not really. I think I'm satisfied. We have some idea what we're getting ourselves into now.
Mm-hmm. And your Slinging Stones team is making progress. I believe a skill check was rolled last session, so that is already taken care of, and they're positive about their impending results. Just a few more hours, and they'll be ready to give it a run.
Okay. Well, I guess we're gonna go for that because shortage of other things to do at the moment.
Okay. You guys want to have any discussion or do anything in those few hours before they're ready? Perhaps find an asteroid filled with blood.
What?
No, definite no to that one. Not sure where that came from.
Yeah, I'm not sure what. Oh, is that a David thing that I missed?
It's in the discussion channel when you were talking about the chocolate
Oh.
jelly filling. I'm like, only some asteroids are filled with blood.
Yeah, pretty
Fine.
much only in the Dead Space games.
That's a thing in Dead Space.
If it was gonna happen, it was gonna happen there. That's all I know.
That's that's probably fair.
I was thinking about another game. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it involves exploring an ocean of blood on a moon after all of humanity and all habitable planets disappear from existence.
How many blood drops of blood were there in that blood ocean?
Billions and billions of drops of blood.
Yeah. And you could always get abstract about it and say that any asteroid any asteroid base in which a human has died is an asteroid filled with blood.
Or we could find out how the rock project went.
I mean, technically, the humans don't even have to have died. They just need to be there.
That's very true too. This asteroid that you guys have just been in has blood in it. Alright, so the Slinging Stones project is ready. And your pilot has maneuvered the marmoset over to the asteroid that Elena and Yakovich, well, actually, I think Elena at this point have identified as the best for redirecting and slinging it in. despite not being, a genius or physicist level of intelligence, or having a physics or engineering degree at all. Elena is able to put some surprisingly put some experience doing similar things to use here. Um, she, of course, doesn't work out all the equations. That goes to your pilot and Christy and some others who have that level of knowledge. But but her expertise and experience in performing asteroid mining and capturing asteroids and slinging them about for Union is on display. You rig up the asteroid. It takes most of your crew under Elena and Quiet River and Amaya's supervision to get it netted into the contraption and get rockets placed and basically to make it work. And anybody want to add anything in here or narrate any part of this asteroid slinging process? Nope, it was just a chance to give you guys a break from my voice. You failed to take it.
Uh-huh. Acknowledged.
Like ASMR, though. I just want I'm just gonna follow.
That is a true statement.
um, and the asteroid is sent on its way. It strains and it tugs on the anchor points to the marmoset, the rockets that have been affixed to the asteroid, and the netting and all the weird technobabble combine to redirect that asteroid and send it hurtling towards the planet at a speed approaching we're not going to be here for months. I'm going to assume that I'm going to go ahead and remove the mining outpost exploration box.
No.
Did you just say that it was going to take us months to complete this maneuver?
No, I said at a speed approaching we're not going to be here for months.
Ah, I missed the not.
Let's see. Who wants to be on the bridge to observe this?
Who doesn't want to be on the bridge to observe the rock being slung?
Libra doesn't. Riley absolutely does if she's allowed to.
Yeah, Max will let her in.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
And get to see a potential cool explosion.
I think Amaya is in engineering monitoring engine levels because this is putting a considerable strain on your engines to perform this maneuver. Because so Archibald and Izzy are both going there.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. Tense moments pass as your passive sensors continue tracking the asteroid. You've not put any kind of beacons or any other anything else that you could more easily track, because that would quite literally defeat the purpose of, or potentially defeat the purpose by giving the weapons platforms something to pick up. You're also trying to monitor the weapons platforms themselves to see if they transmit any communications indicating that they have registered the asteroid at all. And you do. You see a burst of communication that begins at one of the nearby weapons platforms and it spreads around the globe. You can see that communication very rapidly jumping from one platform to another as this orbital shield around the planet buzzes. Well, with chatter, not actually a shield, not a force field. But the asteroid passes by, and no weapons are discharged. That's the information that you get from this. The platforms did see it. They did not fire on it.
Huh. Where that rock's hitting, or if we were to wait for that rock to hit or calculate it out, where would it land on the planet?
You don't have to wait too long for that.
Have we just smashed a planet?
No,
Oh, man,
No.
my back tick.
I was
you,
curious if it's going in an ocean or if it's into like somewhere that I don't care about.
you don't have to wait too long for that. Easily the span of time while Armstrong and crew are still compiling some of the data. Armstrong announces that the that energy signatures on the planet, even as far out as you are, they're able to detect have lit up, and they're detecting, kind of standard TL4 planetary defenses, including breaker guns. There are gravitic waves that are resonating from a point on the planet and focusing on that asteroid. And there's a little graphic up on the screen. Certainly not the actual visual, but is trying to at least give an impression of you seeing that asteroid break up under the intense pressures of the breaker gun.
Okay. So
There's
planet
only the-
side, the boom came from.
Yes. So those sorts of weapons would probably still really mess with the spaceship too, right?
Oh yeah, planetary weapons are still going to have potentially devastating effect. If they've got breaker guns, then they've got they've probably got the standard array. And I believe you haven't gotten close enough to see the actual weapons on the platforms, right?
Not on the planet now.
Did I give you the information about what weapons were on the orbital platforms though?
Don't think so.
Right.
I mean, do we have
Recall.
a? No, we have a service sensor. I think with that you can
But we
literally.
didn't. But we didn't approach close enough to. I don't think we did, at least.
Right, you guys did pull away before that, and trying to get more information from them before getting closer would be an active scan. It would essentially alert them that there's somebody out there scanning them. So it's not something you can't do. I believe it's something you guys decided to hold off on.
But it seems like the plan, at least to bypass the orbital defenses, would work. But then it's just a matter of avoiding the planetary defenses.
It does seem that way.
Assuming if we still want to go down there, diplomacy, we haven't heard any sort of response. We did send signals, right, and messages, so on and so forth.
You sent the David broadcast back. That's the only thing that I recall you guys transmitted to the planet.
Yes.
Okay. But there was absolutely zero response to that.
There was no response to that.
Would that signal have reached the destination of the origin of the distress signal? That city?
Yeah. By now it definitely would have.
Okay. And what would our odds be of, fancy flying, avoiding the planetary defenses to get to our destination? Do we know? I don't.
Without better information about those actual installations and the atmosphere, it's really hard to tell.
Okay. Well,
But
I guess.
I can give you standard planetary defenses. Based on what's commonly known throughout the sector, being 2d10 with armor piercing 20, so enough to pierce your armor. Avoidable on a difficulty 8 to 10 pilot check.
Not great odds. And
Yeah.
and that's with multiple rounds too, right?
That's multiple rounds if you're trying to escape those. And I interpret that as if you're like on the planet and you're just trying to get off or get out of range of these defenses, then yes, that's where the sidebar indicates 3 rounds of those checks. But I think that that's only really indicative of someone that's just trying to stay on a planet and get out of range, or someone that's trying to break into atmosphere. Um, if you were making a dive bomb for the planet, I don't think I would throw 3 rounds at you.
It's just how we stopping ourselves.
Yeah, you may face you may take some damage from the planet.
Okay. Well, at this point, I guess we approach closer, get some better scans, and maybe try to send gosh, I don't know, directed broadcast in regards towards where the distress signal came from.
Okay.
Anyone opposed? Other ideas?
I mean, kind of in a predicament, really.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about this one. The tactics here are,
Yeah, I don't
know.
I don't like the
increasingly
idea of going
certain
down
that
to the
apart from,
planet without an escape, without knowing that we won't be fired upon.
I mean, I hear you, but at the same time, I'm increasingly sure there ain't nobody home no more, based on the
On-
asteroid survey and things like that.
On the whole planet?
Yeah, that's currently the theory
Yeah,
for me
I
anyway.
mean,
Yeah,
come-
I mean, out of character, I'm in agreement with that theory. That seems to be what Blue Sunset was about.
yeah, it's just how do we survive the initial entry is what I'm thinking of.
Do you think they went all ascended to energy beings? We still haven't gotten a scan of infraworld activity on the planet either, right? But we're able to do
No,
that
you've
without
not.
getting
You've not been close
but
enough to that.
we're able to get in range of that without being fired upon by the orbital platforms, correct?
No, you're not. Yeah.
Oh.
And real quick, Tulare, you sound very distant. Are you? Did Discord choose a different microphone for you?
Nope, I had my headset in the wrong position. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No worries. So in your planning, I do want you to keep in mind that trying to get close enough to the planet to scan it is well, let's see. It would be risking the weapons platforms identifying and registering you, and then of course tracking you. You do have the survey sensor array, and I don't want to invalidate that. So if you want to incorporate scans into your decision making, then what I'll say is you can get closer, and using the increased computational and just bandwidth power of the survey sensor, employ passive scans. The -2 from that will counteract the +2 from the survey sensor array, and ask 2 questions. With reasonable certainty, you will not be detected, but every question after that is a chance that they will target in on your location.
Yeah, I'll admit part of the trouble I'm having here is I'm not even sure what the most useful questions we could ask would be.
Well, first of all, if there's any life signs on the planet, and then second of all, if there's any infraworld activity on the planet. One other, just another idea was there any like dead zone where the like beyond the orbital platforms, but before the planetary weapons? There's not like a dead zone there, is there? Like
What are you looking for with Dead Zone? I'm not quite following.
like if it was possible to get below out of the range of the orbital platforms, but still out of the range of so you basically get into range of the planet without being able to be fired upon.
Gotcha.
I'm guessing probably not, because I feel like that would be a pretty obvious flaw, but I'm gonna ask.
Depending on what weapons they have, and you guys can make some assumptions. These are very small platforms. They can't have anything that's too power hungry, and they probably aren't using anything that's ammo. There's signs of solar energy collection, so they're pretty much limited to small laser weapons. It's a good guess from anybody who's familiar with ship combat, any of the characters that are familiar with ship combat, that these are packing multifocal lasers. Multifocal lasers are going to have considerable difficulty penetrating the atmosphere of a planet, giving you a little bit of protection, but not complete.
Okay, so we wouldn't want to spend any amount of time there, really, or any significant amount of time.
Right.
Like it'll basically be like, okay, well, we might be able to get a quick scan in while we're reduced threat from the. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But still.
And I don't know if this will help anyone, but let me put the sensors and scans handout out in front of you. With basically, those are not the only questions you can ask. Those are simply example questions. Oh, and I see I still have the Raza specific note on there.
Where's that?
At the bottom. Do they know if do they know our weapons are broken?
Yeah, for a long time the Raza didn't have functioning weapons.
Sure, for sure.
Yeah, but it's like the Raza is a lot less threatening if it doesn't have weapons. Doesn't make a very good intimidation tactic of like, dude, you ain't got no working weapons. And then we made a custom mod.
Yep.
What, that kind of like moves them? Just like, yeah, look, they're totally working. We moved them.
Something like that. Or would you call it, the Phantom Weapons mod?
I think so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We have a motivational poster now.
Yeah. What's the text down there say?
What did I translate? The last word is definitely project.
Okay.
Do your part for the project.
Nice. I like that. Perfect. Is that copyright free?
I literally just made it.
So did you copyright it yet?
No. That's all me and Inkscape. So I think you're good.
Oops. Oh, it's going up on stream now.
Okay.
I was on the wrong Firefox window when I opened it, and
now it's on stream.
Now it's on stream.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it on stream anyways, but that was unintentional.
Yeah, I figured, these are space Russians. Their architecture is probably brutalist, so you have the nice concrete, buildings with the slit windows in there, and a couple of them.
Yeah. That is quite perfect. If I were the kind of generous GM to give out bonus XP, you would get some. But I'm not.
Or if it was 5th edition, you can give out inspiration. I always forget about that, though.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do your part for the project, Dexter. Give me the XP.
Do your a part for the project.
So, Meowkin has suggested a couple of questions. We are near to our break time, so if you want to take 15 minutes and ponder Meowkin's questions and any other questions you might want to ask, then maybe we could take our break now.
That's probably a good idea.
Let you do your thinking off screen. All right. I'm going to go ahead and call a break here. Come on back at in about 15 minutes.
Ockles.
Oh, damn, I needed that spoon.
Marmoset. Marmoset. Marmoset.
All right. So I've heard some concern about other questions, but no alternative questions have been presented. So are those two the questions that you want to ask?
How many come in
Yes.
total?
What was
Not
that?
forsaking the opportunity to ask other questions.
How many can we ask in total?
2 before we begin starting to risk fire.
Yes.
Okay, in which case, yeah, I'll say those two.
Okay.
I like those 2.
Okay. Well, those aren't freebies. You still have to roll for those, but you've got someone who is good at doing that. So, you know what, Meowkin, you have been Armstrong's rolling hand for a while. Why don't you go ahead and take another roll at it?
Take my strong hand.
And Armstrong gets their +1 for following instructions.
Indeed.
Wow.
Should I not be rolling anymore? Hold on, I can't see the dice roll. Wow, I shouldn't be rolling anymore, y'all.
91's low.
Oh no.
Let's try to find out that Armstrong is an expert. Right? Right, y'all? Y'all?
We have had Armstrong
Sounds
doing a
plausible.
great many scans recently, and despite the fact that they are inflappable, they nonetheless do get tired, just like everybody else.
I'm just saying, you think I got all my bad rolls out of the way.
If you're going to hijack the DMing chair, at least make the outcome positive for us. Jeez.
That's why Dexter lets me hijack the GM.
It's true.
It should stop. Only good outcomes, please.
So, I have no intention of doing all that question mining for nothing. This just means that you only get one of those questions. Now you
And then
have
the
an even
shooting
more
starts.
difficult choice. Maybe.
I don't think whether there's, like, I guess intelligent life still. I guess framing it as intelligent life specifically is like, I guess we don't really care if there's still animals down there.
Right. And I think that's more important to know than the metaspace activity, because the metaspace activity will probably become apparent as soon as we hit the ground.
And we
One
can
way or the
also,
other.
yeah, well, and like I said, we can also kind of do that once we're on the planet too.
Yeah.
When
Knowing whether we're
hopefully-
flying into unmanned defenses or, oh god,
Versus-
why defenses.
Yeah, or we crash down running past the automated defenses just to be surrounded by an army.
Everybody. Yeah. That would be a bad outcome.
Yeah.
Okay. Armstrong is, in addition to being tired, as has been suggested there, Armstrong does need a break here. They've been scanning for, now that you guys think about it, about as long as you've been in the system. They have been at those controls and working out as much data as they could. So,
Passive scans are weak.
Along those same lines, has Elena taken her medically required breaks?
She has. Sunny has made sure of that.
She's probably grumbled about it.
She has. She has made the excuses. What we're doing here is too important and there's too much at stake. And Sunny has thrown those same words right back at her and told her that is why now is a great time to lay down just for a half hour. And Sunny ensures that half hour is 3. at least. But Armstrong says that they had to cut off some of the receiving sensors real quick when they realized that those sensors were like the fact that they were capturing data was actually being something that could be noticed by those very persistent scans out there, those platforms. And so, with very limited information, Armstrong is not able to get any signs of infraworld activity, but says that yeah, there are signs of life on the planet. It looks like there has been a reverse decimation of population density, in that if there were a million people scattered about, there's now 100,000 in a small area, and those are just example numbers. But Armstrong
The
is
reverse part there.
So 90. You're saying something like 90% of the expected population is missing.
Yeah, I was trying to
Oh,
be
yeah.
clever when I said reverse decimation.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck is a reverse decimation? Was there a population boom?
Trying to
Suddenly
figure that
there's
out
more.
myself. All right, so now we know.
But then when you're like, okay, at 90%, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if there's not much of anybody allowed around, that's that much more reason to expect that we might not be shot at anyway.
Armstrong is quick to point out that they're not able to get any kind of actual numbers. They're really just able to discern that there is living life down there, intelligent life, and that where they're able to find it, it appears to be very concentrated.
Is that concentration near where we want to land? That seems
Yes.
fair.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. I don't know that that stops us from trying to do this.
Yeah, I think we have to do it anyways.
It seems like a fairly strong indication that we're thinking along the right lines, but
Just not to the degree. So maybe there was a whole ascension thing for most of the population. Now we've got a left behind scenario.
oh, good. All the exciting people are going to be down there.
Apparently people got raptured.
I'm just saying, it does sound like there's a rapture. Maybe.
Well, take her in.
All right, so you guys set up to drift in like a rock.
I think that's where we're at.
If drift in like a rock and then gun it past the planetary defenses.
So one of the difficulties of this that Amaya, that Quiet River can present, if Amaya does not, is normally when you're trying to drift in somewhere like a rock, you cut the engines. You actually just turn them all the way off. You can't do that here because you are drifting like a rock into something that will suck you in like a planet with gravity. Or like a rock with gravity. I should have gone that direction.
Like a bigger rock.
Yeah, like a bigger rock. And so you're going to have to basically flutter the engines at the absolute lowest power they can be at without shutting them off. And keep it in that tiny, tiny little band. It's going to be very difficult engineering-wise to make that happen. It'll be easy to sneak through like a rock. The difficult part will be recovering the engines when you really need them to go and not take 2 hours to start back up.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Amaya's not an expert, right? Amaya's a warrior as well.
Yep.
Okay, so we don't have a reroll.
And so that is going to be the only stated roll that you're going to need to make for this. You will have to make other rolls, but that one is required, and it is more difficult than the other rolls you'll have to make.
Okay, who among the crew do we think is going to be involved in this process, and are all of them on the bridge?
Well, the engineering one's probably going to be Quiet River and Amaya. Unless we can think of anyone else that can help.
I'm really looking more for numbers, but that's good to know. How many people, how many departments is this going to take? Are they all in the same place?
Maybe I'm not understanding your question.
I can only make telepathic contact with so many people to try to coordinate operations,
Gotcha.
and I'm gonna.
Do we need I mean, is that faster than just, pressing a button?
It might be. It's certainly how Izzy's used to running a ship.
So this is a great time to use those boxes. I'm going to go ahead and move your propaganda. Thank you for that again.
You're welcome.
Everybody that is working
Motivational
on
poster.
the making sure that the engines don't stall is going to have to be in the engineering box. I'll go ahead and put Quiet River over there. Amaya is already in there.
Okay, who's in charge there? Quiet River?
It would be either you or actually it's Amaya's decision. Amaya is in charge as this is part of the mission, and Elena is giving. Hang on. Let me back up a little bit. How skilled is Amaya with ship matters again?
Maya's been learning this stuff since he's been put on the ship,
Okay.
but that isn't relevant to her initial skill set.
Okay. So, how do you feel about Quiet River being made in charge there, but Amaya having the role as being more actually skilled at the mechanics, the general mechanics, than Quiet River?
Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest.
Okay.
Maya's going to be very preoccupied on the mechanics of it, and will not be very useful in a communicative role during this.
Yes, Quiet River is definitely taking lead then as the chief engineer aboard the ship for ship purposes.
It's telepathic contact number 1 then.
Okay.
On the bridge, I assume Elena's in charge.
Elena is in charge, correct.
Since we're not going to have her resting while we're trying to do an incredibly dangerous thing. At least not if we have any sense. Okay. Who else is involved in this plan in some other location on the ship?
Well, you're probably going to need a pilot.
True.
Riley.
Love it.
I mean, hold on. What was Ataria's feature again?
It can be Izya, but in the sense that that is better
Oh.
than nothing.
Not starships. Damn.
Natario
And-
is still skilled as crew, so can still do piloting things. Go ahead and put
Yeah,
Natario.
I was trying to remember if Nataria's feature would be relevant to
No.
piloting the ship, but it's not. It's only
No.
vehicles. Good for drop pods, though.
Yeah.
So who's driving?
We'll go ahead and put Natario driving. I'm gonna move Uki and Riley.
Okay, so that's 3 people so far. Are there any other jobs that need to be coordinated?
How many people can you do again?
Right now, 4.
Okay. I mean, I guess Armstrong is comms, right?
I had a brush in
I
my
don't know.
mouth, so 4 if nobody heard me.
Yeah, I heard 4.
Oh no, 5. I can do 5.
Oh.
Woohoo. Probably as of 3rd level, I can do 5.
I mean, I guess usually Armstrong would be the one coordinating communications, but
Well,
I don't know. I guess you're trying to take that role with this.
let me actually streamline
Trying
this.
to help.
I don't
Yeah.
necessarily, as a GM, I don't need you to declare all of these contacts in advance. So why don't you, as we go along into this this quick time event,
Mhm.
if you feel that Izya would have opened contact with one of these people that becomes relevant in the roles, then you can just decide that.
Okay. I mean, if there's 5 roles, I'm going to make contact with what I think are the correct 5 people to perform those roles. Is what I was getting at. So same sort of attack process there.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Yeah. If there's more than 5 people around, then I have to start picking who's in charge of the thing as my standard.
So, what kind of hang on, let me reframe myself here. You have brought the engines down to, well, you've positioned yourself. You've flown out a ways and then picked up speed, turned around and picked up speed, and put yourself on trajectory.
I mean, speed almost doesn't matter, but sure, let's go with that.
Well, speed matters for the time.
Right.
So that you're not at this is going to take months speed levels.
Right. I got it. Go.
And once you've gotten yourself at speed and on the correct trajectory, you've brought the engines down to that almost stall level. Amaya and Quiet River are coordinated, skilled enough to get that stable while you're not doing anything. The moment the moment you need to kick the engine on is when they will be a flurry of anxiety and tension and work. And now it's just drifting. You're going to be drifting through space with no gravity, no inertial dampers, none of the usual comforts that you're accustomed to, for about 2 hours. There's some tension growing among the crew, and it is it's causing some concern with Elena. You've had to leave all the doors open so that people can just run messages back and forth or shout down the hallways, so that you're not expending power to open doors.
Or use telepathy. Because I can do that. Hooray, transmit thought.
Hooray. Do you want to expend any energy on trying to calm people, or you just want to let the captain's announcement of a quiet maneuver, depowered, just ride through and trust the crew to do their jobs?
Izzy will just sort of generally exert a calming presence through regular talking on everybody, sure.
Okay.
He's been in space a lot. He's sure he's done things like this before. Obviously, it must have come up at some point, and he's fine.
Sure.
Look at him. He's practically an old guy.
That sounds like either telepathy charisma or talk charisma. I would even allow, much to Arch's chagrin, connect charisma.
No, we're definitely going with telepathy. If you give me the option of rolling telepathy, I roll telepathy.
Yeah, I figured.
Well, telepath, everything looks like a telepath problem.
So
is a telepath problem.
Oogie is going to assist with that roll. Also, energetically moving around the ship to assist with morale.
Okay.
From the having looked at the roll perspective, it may not matter that much, but it's nice to know.
But there's a thought that counts.
Yes. Go ahead and roll, Tulare.
That's definitely the right choice. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. The combination of the soothing presence and Oogie, a familiar face and friendly face, is having the desired impact. There's what tension and really it comes down to fear. Drifting in the dark without gravity is a unusual experience for this crew that's accustomed to tech level 4 starships, where you only lose gravity for a few minutes, sometimes as long as 15 minutes when you're initiating a spike drill. And so this lengthy just fall through space is unsettling, and the two of you are able to bring that around, bring spirits up, and things seem like nobody's gonna crack.
Although I do have a follow-on question, considering that both of those roles look like they were pretty good.
They were.
Right now, everybody on the bridge has proven their professionalism in the past. Even Riley, to a considerable extent. And Oogie has shipped with most of these folks before, who are in various roles, but almost everybody in that NPC box. So Acid, Ashanti, Christy, Amikawa, and Yakovich are all new to the crew. We've not had them before. So who's faring the worst in this situation?
Acid.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably Acid. Stuck down here with a bunch of humans.
Is she faring badly because of the situation, or just because of being stuck on the ship with humans?
Well, as you learned where the greatest, basically the most likely bubbling over point was, it appeared that Acid was having an argument with Sunny about how this is clearly just a trap, putting us in a box and serving us to whatever's. Acid didn't really have an idea of what this trap was for, but it still got into an argument with Sunny. Tensions were rising. Tulaire? There you are.
I'm here. Yeah, I'm. The dog was barking. My daughter came downstairs. I was trying to think of what to say next.
Distractions.
Hooray.
So Oogie's just gonna listen to that argument for a minute before interjecting. Now you don't reckon that if they were intent on trapping us, they could have come up with a simpler scenario than luring us onto a planet halfway across the sector?
How well do you know everyone on this ship? Any one of these people could be in cahoots. The word cahoots does sound odd coming from Acid. It is a word that she has learned very recently.
Well, I don't know half of you half as well as I should like, and I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve.
That is nonsensical.
Oogie shrugs and tips his hat.
Acid cocks her head like, what?
Meant to cheer you up. Means I don't know everybody, but I don't reckon anybody here is ain't worthy of my trust.
How long did we have before we got to the system?
You guys actually spent about 2 weeks in various metadimensional travel and refueling and all that.
Yeah, so Izzy had 2 weeks to go around trying to see if anybody was unduly nervous or otherwise being weird with regular use of telepathic contact, and I'm assuming he didn't, or you would have told us by now.
Not necessarily, because I didn't particularly ponder that he would do that. But in retrospect, he certainly could have gotten a feel of the crew, and Tulare and Oogie's sense of them is more or less right. The only wild card among them is Acid, and trying to get anything from Acid is like sticking your hand in acid and looking around for a marble. So much negativity. I don't know if that answers your question.
More or less.
Okay.
Yeah, just sort of as a matter of course, he's just probably just being telepathic all the time. It's a bonus sense to him.
Okay.
He's not waiting for permission or anything. He is likely not being particularly intrusive with it.
Right, of course.
Unless he has a reason. But it's going on more or less 24/7.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just we'll swing around to that every once in a while as you're drifting through space. Anytime you have cause, you've got a new crew member to kind of peek into their thoughts and their feelings, then we'll just we'll make a quick scene of it.
Mm-hmm.
Here, Acid kind of steadies herself and recognizes Oogie's authority in this situation, at least. Takes a more neutral tone, but does engage in what would be considered with anyone else bad faith conspiratorial argument. I'm gonna give you your roles here, and for Acid, this isn't bad faith. Acid's not trying to just argue something because that's the position that's her agenda. There's so much ingrained in the hatred that she has taken away from Trinita Fade and Trinita Shade. And with your blessing, it's something that Oogie can not monopolize, capitalize on her tendency to at least observe chain of command and authority, and spend some time to sit down and talk with her.
Yeah, I would like to.
Okay. What outcome do you want from that? And keep in mind, you've got telepathic assist from Izya. If that's one of the contacts that you want to expend, is to keep in touch with Oogie.
I want to plant doubt in her great faith in the crappiness of humanity.
What a way to phrase it.
I mean, just give reference to Marcus, He's an idiot, but he tries to be good.
I mean, he tries to be good at things.
Oogie's able to make some progress there. Acid is at least willing to concede that this group of humans that she has found herself amongst are maybe not like the rest out there.
Oogie's willing to accept that. I mean, I reckon it's a fairly universal truth that humans in large groups tend to be a little bit crappier than humans in small groups. History of tribalism and all that,
There's your breaking point. That's what breaks through to Acid. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Continue.
Okay, I was gonna say if she had anything to say about that.
No, that's the planting of that seed that
right.
Oogie, that little point there is what resonates with her. And you can continue what Oogie was saying, but just consider it your efforts there successful.
Okay. But if nothing else, why, you're on our ship. That makes you part of our tribe. And I reckon there's at least some of us here who are interested in expanding the definition of tribe until it covers pretty much most everyone.
A fool's errand, but one I can respect.
Oogie kind of wears his fool's grin when she says that. Foolish maybe. I like to consider it to be a noble aspiration.
She scoffs and shakes her head, and there's a little bit of color to her blue cheeks. Humans are stupid. But thank you.
Oogie just he'll chuckle at that. Will you chew on that for a while? You and I'll talk again sometime. Come on out of your quarters. Join us for a meal or a game of cards or something.
You stand no chance.
In a game of cards?
That seems to be the implication.
Oogie shrewdly narrows his eyes. Oh, you're on. And then he tips his hat again and continues his mulling around to help calm the crew.
Okay. There are no outbursts among the crew. Nothing, no drama. Nothing comes up. The next 20 minutes are the quietest and tensest anyone has ever been. Any of your crew have ever been in your observation.
Waiting's always the hardest part.
The waiting is always the hardest part. And excuse me. 10 minutes away. 5 minutes away, and Armstrong looks over. You're blind. You can't actually see outside. Seeing outside would mean that you've got your external cameras powered on, and looking over. But Riley has a genius idea and jumps up out of her seat. The airlocks. We can look out the airlocks. And
technically true, a very bad idea when we're about to experience re-entry.
Yeah, I mean, and avoid the airlocks, especially when we might be shot at.
And you're just gonna really see a bunch of black.
Yeah, and then a bit of orange and red.
I guess you might be lucky to see the planet swing by or the star.
But both doors are closed. It'll be safe, right?
No.
Why not?
Izya, completely lacking insight into the teenage mind at the moment, begins explaining things about how, again, having doors open means that the doors are open, which will affect the flight characteristics of the ship. He goes into a fairly, not deeply technical, but I've been in space a lot.
No,
young woman,
she interrupts him.
why don't you understand this?
She interrupts him. But the doors are closed. They have windows. She uses that impetuous teen tone.
Oogie puts on his parent face. Crash couch, seatbelt, now.
Okay.
Where?
Izzy starts drawing a sphere and then draws a really tiny window on the sphere.
Riley is pointedly ignoring Izya.
I have a question. Can
Yes.
infrared beings see? Like how we do? Or would they see differently?
This is Marcus asking, right? Not out of character.
No, this is an out of character.
Okay.
I can't remember if it's been covered or not.
It hasn't been covered in great depth. what's mostly been trained and covered is that their view of the world is uh, considerably more limited than ours, um, and that's taught to all the crew basically in the sense of when there's a hostile Vega possessing the human, stay 10 meters away from it so that they can't reach you.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
So as you can see, the visible radius in the sphere around us is based on the size of the aperture, and
She has actually put her hands up on the side of her vac suit helmet as if she's able to cover her ears. She is making a physical demonstration of rebellion against Izya's lecture. And pouting so hard that it's not actually covering her ears.
eventually he runs out of steam.
Is that before or after the next 5 minutes when
Probably sometime during them.
Okay. Then we'll say that Armstrong is the one to give Riley sweet relief, cutting him off and saying that by their projections, hang on, by projections, we should be passing them now.
Well, we'll know if we succeeded if we don't start taking on vacuum.
Armstrong gives Izzy a plain look, and then it's back over at one of the few consoles that have a few readings on them. No, we'll know now. They've scanned us. The communication is spreading. No heavy power signatures. We're through. And Armstrong lets out a deep breath.
I wish I knew if I had ever been more nervous than in the last few minutes.
So they scanned us, but nothing happened.
Duh. As mission team, Maya, Marcus Ugi, Isya, Archibald predicted or guessed. Cannot tell with you.
Oh, total guess. Total guess.
Do not tell Captain this.
So I wonder if we just YOLO it this time. And
I'm
actually,
sorry, YOLO it?
Just head on down, see what happens.
Is this a dialect word of yours?
It is a curse word in every language.
Ah, I don't know that I've heard it before.
It's human nature, You only live once.
Oh,
Yes.
It's an acronym.
Is why it is curse word.
It's an acronym. I see.
Kind of just like a, why not? Let's do something stupid.
Well, we could do that. Ordinarily,
Exactly.
I frown on doing stupid things. Let's see if we can do better.
Union motto is, you only live once, so bring extra firepower. Or something like that.
Is it safe for you to begin scanning the area we intend to land now, Armstrong?
Armstrong shakes their head. We want to get into the atmosphere first.
All right. How much longer before we hit atmosphere?
This speed, 2 minutes.
Oogie's going to check to make sure that Riley has, in fact, obeyed his instruction to fasten her seatbelt.
Oh, she has. Yeah. Yeah. She, with the moping, okay. She, did sit down and fastened. And those 2 minutes, again, come interminably long. Before you, well, feel more than anybody announces yourselves breaking through that that outer shell of atmosphere, as if plunging into a thin soup.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's been proven any number of times since the Scream, and had to have been proven at least once beforehand, that you can do these things based on calculations beforehand, but it always feels nice to see proof. You have to imagine the ingenuity of the first people who cooked this up.
Armstrong nods in
I mean,
agreement.
Just think of the first people who, decided to drill into space. Imagine what everyone thought about them.
Oh, drills came later. But yes.
No,
I
but I'm
can't.
just saying, just imagine going into the vast unknown, knowing if you're going to get to the other side and how you're going to get back.
The idea of going into a drill and not knowing the other side is terrifying.
Not sure how I feel about all this philosophical talk.
I
given
mean,
what
it's
we're
simple
doing.
though. It's just you only live once, so why not?
You know how I know none of you is from an ocean planet?
Because I don't have gills.
Because you know 2 of us at least are from a desert planet.
Because it didn't occur to you that mankind was doing that before they ever went to space.
What, going into the vast unknown, not knowing if they'll survive?
Mm-hmm.
Oogie's eyes are as huge as saucers. Dang it, you're right. It didn't occur to me.
I grew up knowing that there was no real way to be aware of what was over the horizon.
I mean, I grew up just knowing there was more sand over the horizon.
That's
I
a
don't
type of
really exit
certainty.
my place. It was kind of like, just stayed inside.
It's a type
So-
of certainty of bleak.
All of this philosophical meandering, of course, is occurring as the ship starts to tumble and experience more turbulence.
Well, yeah,
And-
how did you think Izzy was making everybody feel better about it?
and Elena chooses her timing, and then marks fire up the engines.
Time
Well,
for the fun
I should
stuff.
say cameras on, fire up the engines.
And now to the, I guess, moment of truth.
Yep, let's go ahead and get that fix int roll from Amaya.
Here's where we find out whether
Preach.
here's where we find out whether Dexter lets us all die on a single roll.
No,
Oh.
it'll give us at least 2 rolls.
You have to have a worse idea than we did to die on one roll.
I mean,
I don't
it's
know.
technic-
I am reminded of the Ross's approach to a station equipped with similar advanced weapons. Now, admittedly, that would have been a couple rolls, but even then,
You guys went into that with far more self-confidence, unfounded confidence than you
No,
have
it was
this.
it was founded. I was an expert, and it was part of the plan. We had like 2 re-rolls, and I could I'm glad I'm not the one making this roll because oh wow,
Yeah, that is a success.
because Lord knows what I roll.
The the
Perfectly average.
the engines sputter and then light up like a Christmas tree. You feel the power surge through the ship, not so much in the spread of electricity, but in all the systems kicking back on. The air starts to flow again. The gravity reasserts itself. You're no longer being jerked about by a tumbling ship. It's actually almost kind of peaceful with the inertial dampers and the artificial gravity active. And you now have a screen in front of you that very clearly shows you tumbling at breakneck speed towards a very fluffy cloud of mist through which you can't see.
Oh, what fun.
Your sensors at least tell you that you're very far away from the planet's surface still. You have time to pull up. But those same sensors are also tracking the activation of numerous planetary defensive installations. Hidden within the mist.
I
So,
might just have dipped my brush in my tea. That's unfortunate.
Weapons in the mist.
weapons in the mist. And so, what is your next plan, next action, trying to get yourself safely down to the surface here? I should note that you guys are in a skill challenge. I don't know if you already figured that out or not.
Oh, that makes sense. I should have seen that coming. Time to gun it.
You have a couple of successes left before you have come out through the other end of the skill challenge, and we'll see how many attacks are made on you at that point.
I'm going to use survive dexterity. So I'm going to survive this, damn it.
No. You see, it's hidden, but there is a luck saving throw in this. You just have to enable it on your sheet, and that's what we're all going to need.
I suggest broadcasting on every frequency you think likely to succeed. Messages in Russian explaining that we're doing our best to make it in time for the sunset.
Oh, did we forget to ever... We never transcribed it to Russian. That's why I didn't get a response. Damn it.
Well, the good news is we have someone who speaks Russian.
I was talking about when we initially broadcasted the David's message.
That might have
They're
helped.
like, yeah.
I don't know how Sound of Silence would sound in Russian, but that's a whole separate question.
I guess we did kind of assume these people speak something other than Russian, like, English.
So let's try that while we're on our way down.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me paraphrase this. You're going to try and essentially bluff that you're simply late to the party and please don't shoot us.
Right, and I mean, we're coming from one of their asteroid mines, so it's at least semi-plausible.
Okay.
And we did pretend to be an asteroid.
Mm-hmm. As if we had no idea what we were doing with this ship, for example.
All right. That is a viable role. Do any of the PCs speak Russian to make it, or is this going to be a joint effort between one of the PCs telling Yakovich what to say, and then Yakovich making it convincing?
I think it's the latter.
Okay. Who is coaching Yakovich on this?
Who thinks they can most conveniently come up with excuses for not having done their homework?
Marcus volunteers.
I have a stupid question.
Okay.
Does Elena not speak Russian?
Oh, she does.
If she's on the bridge, shouldn't Elena be delivering this message?
Honestly, I forgot about it.
She was having a snooze, and she's just woken
She's
up.
probably more qualified than he is, but he's seen all their propaganda, so he has some idea what the dialect is. Doesn't really matter, I don't think.
Elena has seen more of just everything throughout her time with this with the Raza and now with Raza, so she will be able to take direction and not choke on this. Then she'll be better at that than Yakovich.
Who wants to make up a story? Or who has another idea?
Yeah, I'm not so much on the make up a story idea.
Oh right, Yakovich is a guard. That's why his skill check is so low. Yeah.
We definitely want to broadcast in Russian, but what are we broadcasting?
Well, I don't need the exact specifics of it as long as I understand that your intent is
Don't shoot.
to bluff them. Sorry, we're late. We had something rather, and don't
The
shoot.
other way we could go is, people who are still here on the planet were coming to help. Honest, we swear.
Yeah,
Those are really the two,
Okay.
discernible options here.
That does have the benefit of being relatively true.
I also have a stupid idea. What happens if we play the music in the background? So that way it's just, if someone's paying attention, they might hear it.
Which, oh, you talking about Hello Darkness, my old friend?
Yeah.
Yeah, do we have that in our ship?
Yeah, we'll say you do.
Become a
Yeah,
traditional
just have
song
that
by
playing
this
in the
time.
background.
Yep.
I think that's a great idea because it's sending 2 messages on 2 channels.
There's also so the important question then is, of course, which cultural variant of Hello Darkness, my old friend we are choosing.
The Russian one.
Well, did we receive the message in English originally? Or in Russian originally?
you received the message from David in English. David was describing a distress message that they kind of knew about that was in Russian.
So Russian then. So we somehow need to get a Russian translation for this song.
Well, again, if by now it's a traditional song, I'm sure the tune has been used for lots of things, and it's been translated in many places.
Just let the computer translate it. It'll be fine.
In the same way that you can find a gazillion versions of Wild Rover, for example.
Yeah, we'll say that there is a Russian version of Sound of Silence.
I mean, to be fair, Elena has been in charge of the marmoset for quite a while.
Okay,
Surely
you know
we've
what?
got a
Here we go.
selection of Russian music.
I've got this. What's Union's capital planet?
Hlif.
What's the
HLIF.
capital city on Hlif?
I don't know. Where are you going with this?
Fine. Like that. The Hlif Combined Planetary Orchestra's cover of Sound of Silence is what we'll use as background music.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. So then, somebody is still needing to coach Elena on this message that you want. So I'll need a skill check from one of you to assist Elena.
Look, Elena, it's gonna be easy, right? You spew a bunch of bullshit, say a bunch of words, make up a bunch of excuses, and only once we get to the planet can they punish us, really. I mean, we'll either get fired figuratively from our job or literally.
I think that might be the most logically consistent thing I've ever heard Marcus say.
You've just got to baffle them with your bullshit. They don't know at what point to take you seriously, and they may say it is a big joke, in which case you just laugh and go along with it.
All right, why don't you roll a talk charisma with Marcus?
Oogie leans over to Izya when he hears him remark on this. Haven't you figured it out yet? That's what he's doing all the time. Just always be bamboozling.
He usually doesn't make it as obvious, though.
Doesn't he?
It's a signal that he trusts us. He's letting us in on his MO.
All right, and didn't give me the opportunity to add the +1 there, but add a +1 to that. Why didn't let me add the +1? I've probably turned all that off. I have. I turned off all the query for modifiers.
How dare you?
Because I hate queries.
Yeah, I mean it is kind of annoying because you have like you're rolling skills for
Yeah.
NPCs. There's like 4 boxes that pop up for a single roll.
Yeah. Okay. So, that is an external skill to the challenge. That will come into play later. It was not wasted time in the effort. That will come around. And the skill check was passed. However, it does not advance your efforts at landing safely on this planet without a bunch of holes.
If and when we land, it might have an effect. Let's find out when we get there.
Yes, the immediate effect is there's no response.
I did not mean to click on that.
Oh, of course.
Well, so what's next then? I guess more falling. Well, I say falling. Tactical movement.
Is there any way to use our weapons as a distraction? Though I guess that would actually kind of defeat the purpose of the
Yeah.
previous.
Yeah, no, I don't think that'd be quite as wise.
Yeah. Well, there's always, noticing incoming threats, particularly if it's anything other than the planetary defenses we already know about.
That's an option. You can always also default to a pilot check. That's another one of your options there.
Yeah, we don't have a pilot though. Well, we got the NPC, I
Yeah.
guess.
You've got Natalia.
But Atari is also just a +1. But then again, that's the same role I have.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, Atari has 2 now. Or has +2 skill,
Mhm.
at least.
That's right. I forgot that.
Well, I mean, I guess I always stick with the classics, right, y'all? Anything
Well,
else?
I
Anything
mean,
to help
sure.
on the,
Yeah. If hypothetically being, leading people to coordinate activity as we try to touch down and or avoid fire would help, is you can do that.
That's also an option. This is a very high stress situation with a lot of people doing things behind the scenes that are not coming into focus on our
Sure.
screens here.
So I'm perfectly happy to make the lead check if you'd like.
Okay. Let's go ahead and have Izia make a lead check with that.
I assume charisma.
You certainly can.
shouldn't assume.
Sorry, not you can assume, but yes, you can roll it with charisma.
I mean, you can assume.
Wow. I must have borrowed Meowkin's luck, but still.
On the way in, we did a whole bunch of investigation into the culture of this planet, and although there's limited resources out there, we studied just about everything that there was to study about them.
Mm-hmm.
Would an int plus connect roll give me any insight into their military doctrine that might help us navigate their ground defenses?
I'll allow that.
I'm gonna go ahead and go ahead and roll the pilot for Nataria. Unless
Okay.
anyone's opposed.
Yeah, go ahead, and you guys can both roll those at the same time.
Go on, another 7. Go on.
Don't do it. Oh my god. And this is how we die. Thanks to my rolls.
Pulses the
Man.
engine's just a little bit too much.
I wasn't kidding. My best roll so far was that manual roll I did that was a 7. And I've rolled like 6 times.
All right, and I see Oogie's connect over there. Let's see. So Notario's role is not salvageable. I'm going to ask this. I should have asked this for Izia's. So I'll ask this for either one of those roles. Is there someone that can provide assistance to either of them? Wow, Meowkin. I think I just have to kick you out of the game.
I know. That's some cursed dice.
Pretty bad. I don't suppose the fact that we actually do have a ship captain that isn't Izya matters for this purpose. She's busy translating.
Oh, you know what? That is a good point. Izya is supporting Elena. I'm not gonna just give a +1 for that since it's retroactive, but let me I'll make a quick roll for her as a just kind of a what's the general atmosphere of the crew that she has given Izya to work with. Okay. That is enough for Izya's +1.
Hooray!
And with this flurry of activity, with Oogie's words, with Oogie's trying to guess at how these installations are firing at you through these clouds of chilling mist. Oogie can surmise that if these are automated, which they probably are, they're energy based, and energy does have some difficulties getting through cloud, especially mists as thick as you're rolling through right now. That's actually why it's so bloody difficult for Natario to get this ship into a control. She's not going to crash into the planet, but she's not able to move this ship as nimbly through this atmosphere as she would, as any of you would like. Um, And so finally, the tumbling on the screen does settle, and the clouds level out. They whoosh past in on a single plane instead of spinning all about. And you feel the impact of heavy ground-based lasers just peeling away at the Marmoset's armor, and Natario is jerking the control, just trying to slam away from that, um, and diving as hard as she can. There's growing panic, but at least among those that are performing duties and not just standing by on weapons or security. Izya's able to keep people still coordinated. I would say that Izya has, if it matters for you, I don't remember if it's a per day or per scene expenditure. Actually, before I even continue, is it a per day or per scene expenditure?
That time I did mean to click on it.
Oh, I was actually referring to your psychic contact.
Oh, well, you mean telepathic contact?
Telepathic contact. Mm-hmm.
Yes. What about it?
Is it a per scene or per day expenditure?
Oh, well, I have facile mind, so it's a per scene.
Okay. So then I don't even need to worry about how many people he has needed to make contact with. I can easily say that he has, in trying to keep everyone coordinated, just kind of how we talked about before. We didn't need to know in advance, but he has reached his limit. This is perhaps the first time in his memory, unless he's practiced on Kamiego, that he's been in this high. Well, no, even practicing on Kamiego would not have been as high stress as this.
Indeed.
And so there's some tension there. He's stretched to his limit, but the Marmoset stop feeling that bake in from lasers, and you feel instead a skidding a skidding grind at the bottom of the ship. Thankfully, it is at the bottom of the ship, and not the side or the top. The marmoset comes to rest.
Anyone who expects to be using guns is first out the door.
I'm going to roll damage from those lasers real quick.
That's fine. That was more in the nature of an instruction.
Oof.
Ow. I assume that's ignoring armor, right?
That is ignoring armor. It has armor piercing. Actually, let me
20.
double check my notes here.
20.
With the multifocal lasers, it's 20.
Yeah.
No,
We've
they're
only,
not.
got, we've only got 5 armor anyway, so it's not likely to.
Yeah, that's right. And these aren't multifocal lasers. These are ground installations, which I believe are by default 2d10 and by default they're 2d10
At least 5 AP.
with some massive AP.
So the point is, we got shot a bunch.
We got shot a bit.
Oof.
Oh. Well, we're going to be doing repairs, y'all.
You're going to be doing some repairs.
Why can't I get those dice?
Ooh.
That brings our ship down to 4 hit points. I hope that's not all of it, right? Right, Dexter?
That is all of it, yes.
Okay.
No, if it was a fair round, it would have been real spicy.
I mean, to be fair, so max rolls, we would have survived with 1 hit point, unless we take some grounding damage. In which case,
No, this was accounting for all of it. It was the challenge here was 1 attack per failed skill check in the challenge.
Oh, nice. So we would have been, okay, that's all right.
It put kind of a not necessarily an artificial limit, but a randomized limit of don't fail 3 times.
Fair enough. So we're on the ground.
You are on the ground. There are scores where the armor armor of your ship has been peeled away and melted, and there's some damage. There's some personnel damage inside the ship. Sunny's able to attend to it easily enough, but in those few seconds of massive ground batteries ramming lasers and light at your ship, some of those compartments got a bit overheated, and so sudden heat stroke or something akin to it, or minor burns of people who are perhaps too close to those walls. You've got some damage to repair on the ship if you don't want to try flying back out with 4 hit points. Fortunately for your ship, this chilling cold, these massive banks of fogs, it did disperse and blunt most of the impact of those lasers.
That's good. Izzy is still very certain we need to secure the outside of the ship before we try doing anything with the inside, other than, the obvious.
Absolutely fair. Go ahead and assemble your door team.
Archibald for sure. Hold on, where's the door? Oh, door team. There you go.
Yep.
I assume. Let's see, who else would go?
I mean, Max is going to go to the door. He's interested.
Oh, Libra, of course.
Put yourself by the door, then.
Riley wants to go. Is Riley allowed to go?
No, not until we've secured the perimeter.
Okay.
I mean, I guess Riley could be on standby in case we got a whole bunch of Vega.
Right, Riley is allowed to go, just not first.
That reminds me, actually, can we do at least a sweep of the immediate area for Infraworld activity?
I assume that's what will be going on in here while you're outside.
Yes.
Yeah, but we want to make sure that we don't have Vega waiting outside, because that does help kind of inform the Riley decision.
I suppose that's true.
Yeah, let's go ahead and have Armstrong make a check. Let's basically, this isn't a.
Should I roll it again?
Yes.
Or am I banned from rolling this session now?
Yes.
This isn't to discern if Armstrong can make out the data. This is to determine if your scanners have gotten damaged in the excitement. And we'll determine that with an Armstrong skill check.
Okay, well, I'm gonna do it unless someone stops me.
I'm saying you do it.
Okay,
Do
that's
it.
not.
I'm making this roll come from you.
And it's a clear +1. Yay! My dice aren't cursed anymore. The curse is broken.
All you have to do
So
is get to the planet.
Armstrong, as calm as Armstrong, ever is. Well, sorry, that's a poor way of phrasing that. In the midst of this tumbling and the weapons fire, Armstrong has remained calm. This is all emotional and trauma, and sure, it's all very scary, but Armstrong has a job and is able to focus on that. I mean, most of you that have seen Armstrong on this ship probably aren't too surprised by how they maintain themselves through this. And as the ship comes to a rest, Armstrong turns. Izia calls for door guards, and Armstrong catches Oogie and Elena's eyes. Condensers. Lots of them. They're all over the planet, Captain. And they're all active.
So maybe they're the ones that got left behind.
I counted over 100 before we crashed.
Well, shit.
Well,
alright,
this
let's
just got interesting.
pull out the lance rifle and laser weaponry.
I suppose we know what the project was now.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Shit, this is a misty planet?
It is a misty planet, yeah.
Oh, wow, what a freaking coinkydink.
It's also kind of cold here too.
Shoulda figured that one out sooner.
Hold on. Explain, please.
Condensers. That's the thing
So
that
far
brings.
better.
That's the things that bring the Vega through, basically.
Yeah.
Right, I knew that, but what's that got to do with it being misty and cold?
That's kind of a side effect when you have a lot of them running.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Pretty much what happened on Coast.
So to put a little bit more detail to it, a condenser ostensibly operates by bringing a plane, a sheer plane of real space to absolute zero, through unknown to physics reasons. This brings down the temperature of the surrounding area, not like the immediately surrounding area, although that is also true, but in a wider range than just the portal and that plane. The temperature starts dropping and becomes foggy and misty. Does that
It does. Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
And at this scale, probably means that they're all over the planet.
How's it going? Would it be possible to get a
Nox, you are not muted.
fixing that now?
There we go. I muted him.
What was the verdict on immediate vicinity?
Let me type this real quick. There we go. Armstrong says, but I didn't see anything immediately nearby. Nearest, hang on. Better answer is nearest infraworld signature is approximately 1.3 kilometers. They're able to. For those that are still on the bridge and haven't joined the door team, Armstrong brings up a mock-up of the planet and starts having the computer generate where all these condensers are. And it's kind of a glitchy mess because you're at 4 out of 25 hit points. but that hologram is looking something like a Thanksgiving apple with clovers pushed into it.
That example does not bring anything to mind.
Nope.
Oh, really?
Nothing for AI.
what you're
Yeah,
talking about.
it's they're
Cloves,
oranges.
right?
They're oranges
Clovers,
around
right?
here. Yeah.
Okay.
But the point is, there's a whole lot of them.
Yes, there's a global network of condensers, and Armstrong has been able to determine that the nearest of them are half a kilometer deep, and coincidentally, the nearest of them is about 1.3 kilometers away from you. That's also the nearest infraworld signature. So there shouldn't be any other Vega or entities immediately nearby.
When you say a half a kilometer deep, you mean under the ground?
Yes.
Okay.
It's
Well,
pretty
a lot
deep.
of direction words coming out there. It's not that deep. It's deep, but it's not sci-fi deep underground. You know?
It's not like center of the earth or anything.
No, it's like it's a fair sized strip mine deep.
It's like a bunker. Yeah.
It's a fair
Anyways.
sized strip mine or a bunker. Yeah.
It's deep enough that it would be pretty much impossible to destroy with any kind of above ground weaponry.
That we know of.
Well,
Okay.
right. If you had a planet busting missile.
Oh
So-
man. Actually,
Right.
gosh, I don't know. I really do think a planet busting missile may actually be the solution here.
It seems
I
feasible.
mean, if only we had one.
Mm-hmm.
Let me put this back out there so you can see how many points you have to spend on things.
Well, like
Although the
planet
community of
busting
Alpha
missile.
Centauri would react very negatively to that.
Now, how much support is it for a planet destroying missile?
It would be 3 assets for a planet destroying missile.
I honestly wasn't expecting an answer to that.
That's very cheap. Very affordable.
It's 3 assets because this planet has a cost of 3.
So, when you say planet destroying missile, are we talking
Yeah.
like full and comprehensive, or a missile with a big enough payload to destroy some of the planet?
They're actually pretty small. Scary small.
Yeah.
They cause basically the planet. They basically nullify like the planet's gravity or something, and just cause it to basically fall apart. Right? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah. There
That
was
some of the Maltech from the Trend planet, by the way.
It would pretty much have to be.
So it's like a combination of a missile with the molecular disruption device from Ender's Game.
A little bit. That actually destroyed stuff. This doesn't like destroy it doesn't actually like disintegrate or anything. It just causes it to all fall apart.
Okay, so we're here. The missiles start to seem plausible, but maybe not yet. Maybe we'll see how the door team does.
I mean, it's a little early.
Certainly not until we repair the ship, say.
There also are different factions of Vega, to be fair.
And there's some people here still apparently, so maybe we look into that. Like there's some stuff we might want to know before we do that, but
I guess
I don't want to take that off the table.
I guess Vega was actually the faction that really is the issue, right?
Well,
yeah.
Soon.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Well,
I
Vega-
guess just otherwise. Well, I'm trying to remember. Does Crew does not go by Vega, right?
So
I did.
the taxonomy here is that Vega is to these entities like human is to mammals, and Crew is or
So Crew
Iden.
is still technically Vega.
Crew is still Vega, and Iden
Okay.
is basically to Vega like nationality is to humans,
Okay.
or ideology.
Okay.
However you want to say it.
So there are different factions within Vega, because Vega is like their race, so to speak,
Right. Mm-hmm.
or species.
Okay. So
The other one was the impatient.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. The impatient
Mhm.
were the ones. That was specifically to the. Oh, I forgot the name of the planet. Photon.
Biden. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean,
not that
we
that's
don't-
not interesting, but maybe we find out what's going on outside, guys.
Yeah. Well, we want to. I guess we probably need any of the regular crew to actually be hanging
If I'm
back.
if I'm out of effort, I'm better off staying in here.
And we also need. Well, we're a new scene, right?
We are in a new scene. Yeah.
Presumably Riley should stick with the rest of the non-vacant crew. Because Riley's the only defense against
Yeah.
the entities.
Yep.
For them.
Yep. That seems right.
So
Okay.
so Riley should be staying within 10 meters of as many crew as possible.
So the
Including-
non-vacant crew on the ship or on your door team?
Well, I guess for now the door team, but I guess we don't see anything. I mean, yeah. So yes,
Okay.
Riley will be coming with us just because we know that the whole place is infested.
Okay.
But the north, they will be. I presume it would be hanging back because we don't actually want to invite Riley unless necessary. So like a covered in the rear with yeah.
I may have let the excitement get ahead of us. So let me ask: are you making all this decision before the door team actually clears, or is this all being discussed while the door team is doing its thing?
That was a decision I wanted. That was information I wanted to know before we started clearing out the door.
Okay.
At the very least, what their presence was, partly in regards to Riley being present, and then also on how to array any of the non-vacant crew, because again, you don't want the non-vacant crew anywhere near
Okay.
the entities.
Apparently, I'm going to have to go outside too. So we do that.
And Riley's with you. Okay. This is not a particular challenge for your crew to clear. You're able to easily, with the military expertise you have amongst you. With Archibald, Yakovich, and Libra, at the very least, able to quickly identify perimeter, identify potential trouble spots, and assess them and investigate them. You're able to, within less than 5 minutes, basically all call back to each other, clear, clear, clear. There's nobody around you. You have...
Okay, where are we?
You appear to have landed in on a suburban street. There are houses nearby. You have utterly destroyed a handful of cars in your approach and landing. And there are traffic lights, same as any would expect on any civilized planet. The key...
So what I'm hearing is that this suburb looks much less intentionally abandoned than the asteroid mine did?
Well, the power is off. There is nothing going to the traffic lights, no flashing red or any other color to signify a power loss. You see no movement in any of the houses. The cars are neatly parked. Somebody give me a survive check.
Survive.
I think survive is appropriate for that question that Aura has asked.
It's one of them.
I also want to see if Meowkin's luck is still shit.
Yeah. Will it survive wisdom, I'm guessing?
Survive wisdom.
Okay. Mike, unless I can argue for dexterity, but that's not going to happen.
Not this time. Okay.
I'll take it, even though it's still below average.
You certainly
remain cursed, but less cursed.
certainly could have done better, but with that, Archibald is hindered a bit by the visibility of the fog, but he can at least identify that there doesn't really look like there's been no stampede. There's been no rioting. There's been no particular commotion, at least in this area of suburbia. It does
Well, if
not.
nobody has got,
Yeah, go ahead.
if nobody has a competing plan, we might as well take a look at some of these houses to see if we're right.
Do you like
I
see
mean-
like if there's any like piles of clothes at tables, and dinners
Right.
half eaten?
Yep. Right,
They
that kind of thing.
wrap it up. Might as well.
Okay.
Also, local
Um,
maps, that kind of thing. There's all kinds of helpful stuff might be in a house.
Let's see. Do we leave enough people on this ship to actually? Yeah, I mean it's probably fine.
Yeah, it's well known if the ship
Unless we-
tries to leave,
unless-
it's dead anyhow.
Hmm?
If you're thinking
Well,
if we're leaving enough stuff to staff the ship, then it's pointless because it'll die as it tries to take off.
That's not entirely true. If the people there can be possessed, they might just be able to just take the ship and leave, or take the ship and destroy it, and then we're stranded here.
I'm not worried about our crew flying off with the ship. I'm just talking about whether if we need to leave defenses with. But it's probably fine. It seems like we're at least a kilometer out from.
It seems
People don't
unlikely to happen in the next, hour.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right.
Okay.
That's a future concern, but not a concern right now.
It's a good point, but we should search these houses and find out what's going on here.
Yep.
While you're doing that, aboard the ship, Elena has put Armstrong in charge, much to Armstrong's protest and consternation. As Elena assembles a small team, Notario, Chrissy, and Quiet River, to begin working on repairs. Are you guys moving as a, what is that, 9-person team, or are you splitting up at all?
I think we'll need a better idea of what is here before we can usefully answer that. I mean, we'll start by
Okay.
just looking in some houses, but if we see, I don't know, the town hall or, say, a mechanic shop or something like that, we might start to have reasons to split up.
Okay. Well, with visibility so low, it's difficult to discern much more than the house in front of you and the two houses. The two houses to its right. But where you can see, is just residential right now. And so, proceeding into one of those houses and looking around with your security on alert. They are not doing any searching. They are actually just securing rooms for you, and then
We
holding
may
a
need
perimeter.
Valerian to read things, but yes, I get your point.
Yeah, Valerian will certainly be one of the people inside clearing, so that once everything's clear to I guess Libra's satisfaction, he can assist with translations. Your early assessment is that, there's nobody here, as you were more or less expecting. And whoever was here, whoever left, they packed. There are sections of closets that appear to have been just, taken out. There are canned goods and frozen dinners in the pantries and the freezer, respectively. There are computers, charging ports for personal devices, but no personal devices themselves. Game consoles, televisions.
Okay, so I mean, a list of things that Izzy is interested in finding.
Okay.
Mail, newspapers, a computer that has the local equivalent of GPS software running on it, What else would be good, folks?
Maps.
Yep, maps. That's the computer, but I'll take paper. That's fine. I don't want to go full Admiral Thrawn, but it would be interesting if any of the video games were about the blue sunset.
I do think probably so. The one thing about condensers is the portal that opens. People can walk through them, right? So I'm wondering if they all is basically just once they completed their project, they just rounded everyone up and walked
Well,
through the
yeah, no,
portal.
I mean the slam dunk here is a flyer in the mail that says, it's sunset day. Report to your assigned station.
I mean,
Which-
you know what? It's kind of like Fallout vibes, right?
Or
With the
sundown
vaults.
day. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you get the idea.
Do we know what happens when somebody walks through an infraworld portal? Or like, do we know that that's a possible, like our crew?
Yeah. Jai
think
has
so, yeah.
gone through a portal before. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and I think that
that's
would've been
known to the
related.
Raza. So
Would have been back.
Hey, Riley, can I have a chat with crew?
Okay.
Oh, that reminds me. I meant to tell all of you.
also, Riley grew up in the Everworld, basically.
Her, and Izya points at Riley, I can sense. Her friend I can't. In case anyone wondered.
What do you mean you can sense me?
I told you before, I can read minds.
Well, yeah.
For my purposes, your friend does not have one. I don't know why that is.
He's not from here.
Yes, it's probably related to that.
Do we have any indication of what the population of this planet would have been? Just an estimate, millions or billions or?
I think we're told billions, right?
Yeah. There should be. Estimates are 1 billion or more.
Okay. What I want to know from crew is what would happen if 1 billion people just up and walk through portals into the infraworld?
Marley kind of as if she's listening to something, and doesn't really work like that. Okay, it does.
doesn't work?
No, what? I don't understand what you mean. Okay. Your body can go through a portal. Wait, no. Your soul can go through a portal if it's not attached to the body, and then you're in the infraworld. Okay? But if your soul is still in your body and goes through the infraworld, you're kind of there, but not really.
So kind
Oh.
of like a ghost then. Where you're
What's
half
the
in,
sign?
half out.
Yeah, like a ghost. Oh, maybe. You know when you're dreaming and you're flying and it's like a different world? Sometimes that's the infraworld. What? No, that Prue, what? I don't understand what he means.
It's all right. I mean, we'll figure it out here. These folks, they packed up their suitcases, so it looks like they expected to go there bodily. Now, whether or not that was what happened when they got to the condensers is maybe yet to be determined.
Well, they expected to go somewhere bodily. It would be
So-
nice to know if what else was near those condensers.
I guess
Okay,
we
I got
don't-
it. I got it. Crew says that if 1 billion people walked through a condenser, they would be very unhappy. Damn it, Crew! They would be very unhappy. It wouldn't be what they're looking. It wouldn't be blue. It's not blue that way.
Wait. It's not blue that way.
It's not blue that way.
There's a
And-
case where it is blue.
Yeah, if you leave your body when you're dreaming.
Oh boy.
No, this.
Ah.
This is important. This is important. Prue says nobody can sleep here. Nobody can
None of
sleep
us
here
should
if
sleep here.
if the world's. Oh, I already knew that, Prue. And Riley gets a little bit more confident now. This is experience that Riley can relate from, not from
Growing up.
herself, but from
Mm.
other people who lived on the planet she was on, which was subsumed by the infraworld, where things were blue.
I didn't
And
remember it being blue.
I tried to, but I think I probably got too excited by other things and
The
missed
blue
that.
probably came up. It just probably wasn't. I just don't remember it being significant.
Yeah,
is
yeah. I mean, because it was all dark anyway, so.
Yeah.
um,
Anywho,
um, she says that if this place is subsumed in the infraworld, then people could essentially enter the infraworld simply by dreaming, simply by sleeping and dreaming. And they could get lost there and never wake up.
So I have a question right now. You know that, shipment I got? I wonder what would happen if you took that and dreamed. How lost would you be then?
I'm sure it would be very exciting briefly.
let's not.
Oogie.
Marcus. Let's not test that theory.
He punches Marcus in the arm. Shut up, Marcus.
Hey, it was just an idea, okay?
No, listen, I heard that speech you was giving up on the bridge about messing around and keeping people on their toes. Not right now. Not with talk like that.
Fine.
Guys, if this place is gonna blow, I mean, implode. We can't be here.
Invert. Do we
And
know?
we'll need to find out what was going on quickly.
Yeah. Do we know how to? Do we know how
Looking
to keep
around.
that from happening? I mean, so far as I'm aware, the main thing is shut down condensers. But if there's this many, I don't think we can shut them down.
All right, but no.
Make a
Think of it. No. We got a message. So something else is on this planet. Something that wants us to visit it. Why would something want us to visit a place like this if they know our history and how we will react to such things?
Mm-hmm.
We
As
detected
such-
I think we need to get in touch with the locals. Much as it's a little unsettling to think of who the locals might be now.
Well,
We-
I think it'll be people like Crew, where they're wanting to maybe change how things are.
What's Crew think the odds of that are?
Riley says that Crew doesn't know.
I mean, either that or because if you're wanting to draw people here, you wouldn't draw us here. You would draw the idiots to come here to, who don't know anything about this, to come sleep on the planet to then be, I guess, converted.
I don't think I had any problem with numbers here, although your reasoning's sound.
I mean,
No.
it could
Again.
also be a million people who got cold feet and decided they don't want to go.
Right. This has
But
clearly been going
they'd
on
be
a long
outnumbered.
time, whatever this plan is. And they had plenty of people to put toward it. Which means plenty of people expected to go to wherever this blue place is.
But it's one
I
of
don't
them.
think it might not be blue. So here's a question for you, Dex, out of character.
Mhm.
We don't actually have data what happens if non-vacant walk through a condenser, do we? I don't think that's ever been tested on our side.
That's never been tested.
Because the only person that was ever walked through that we know of was Jai.
You've got the data point of Jai, who is vacant, and you've got the data point of people outside, who were also vacant, looking through, as well as an additional data point of an android who couldn't see anything through the portal at all.
It looks like nothing at all. I'm sorry, it doesn't look like anything at all.
I'm gonna quickly answer a couple of the things that Aura wanted to have been found throughout this house, because
Or, any of the other houses, but we got time.
any of the other houses, through your searching, you do find video games that are related to the Blue Sunset. There's constructor games, there's bridge building games, there's a whole slew of
Blue Sunset basically took over the entire simulation genre on this planet. Got it.
yeah, there's a whole slew of Blue Sunset productivity games. They're
Training kids to build for Blue Sunset.
training
Blue
kids to
Sunset
build.
roleplay game.
Blue Sunset roleplay games. Basically a vision of what they expect to be on the other side, and it is a very kind of heavenly, angelic vision. This is.
How are the people in charge depicted in these games?
They're depicted in pristine white outfits, ushering people to a better life and protecting and basically providing for them.
We need to find a church.
Anything resembling entities feature on those?
There's nothing resembling entities featuring on those, although you are only getting a very quick glimpse of
like the box art.
Yeah, the
you know,
box art.
I boot Condenser Hero 2, and there's a guy in a robe giving us instructions or something like that. I get it.
Yeah.
Right.
You do also find some of the other things you're looking for. There's maps on computers. There are also pamphlets that are telling people to report to their assigned bunker as of such and such date.
Told you, Fallout. Kinda.
And that's probably the perhaps the biggest pointer you've got there is, yes, there are instructions here assigning people to bunkers, assigning families to bunkers. They're not splitting up families.
Yeah. That's the most immediately interesting thing we could have found. Okay. Are there directions?
There are directions.
Is it
Do
about
they go to where we expect them to go, considering the
1.3
scans?
kilometers away?
They don't go to a point 1.3 kilometers away. They go to a point, well, about 1.3 or 1 kilometer away, but in a different direction. The bunker that this family was directed to is not the same place as the nearest condenser that Armstrong found. But to put it in better perspective, the condenser is toward the center of the city that you're nearby. The bunker is outside the city.
Interesting.
Or at least at the edge of it.
Okay. I'm sure Armstrong is very busy, but if we call Armstrong, can they tell us where there are large concentrations of alive people?
Armstrong responds back that sensors are out right now as repairs are underway.
Okay. Well, then we'll have to guess.
We should also probably put the make sure they on the ship know the whole, maybe don't fall asleep here.
Right.
And check on our stock of stims.
And yes, there's absolutely a Blue Sunset dating sim. Trying to find your perfect soulmate prior to the Blue Sunset date so that you will enjoy peace and love eternally forever after Blue Sunset.
Wonder if Blue Sunset ever had any false starts.
There are a lot of good questions about that maybe we don't have time to find out the answer to right this second. I'm just saying. But okay, so we clearly need to find a church or a government center, or we just skip the rest of the find some stuff out process and go directly to one of these bunkers. I assume we don't go straight to a condenser. That seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, we want to get as much info as we can, though. I guess we are running a sleep clock now.
Marcus bought the wrong drugs, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I don't think that drug's gonna help us much.
We should just straight up all be motorheading and grinding our teeth the whole way through.
I do assume the ship locker comes with some supply of
yes,
stimulants to keep people awake.
Yeah, and Riley will, because Riley wasn't clear, over the course of conversation, Riley will clarify for you that you only have to worry about the sleep if the planet is subsumed. Right now,
Right,
there should be
so-
no risk.
We don't need to find a drugstore and get Marcus all of the Sudafed on the planet. Got it.
Not yet.
So
Oh,
a character
good
just
idea.
remembering
Wait, what?
the mechanisms of subsumption. We know that one condenser running for centuries will subsume a planet.
No, I don't believe that's. One condenser running for centuries will slowly expand the area that is considered a portal.
Okay.
So lots of
Then
condensers
it's-
running at
the-
once
the
is probably
crit-
actually going to succeed. Yeah.
Yeah, critical mass is pretty high. I mean, as evidenced by the fact that presumably this place is still not assumed, even though they've been actively working towards that, or
Well,
may
that's-
as well have been working towards it.
I got the suspicion they didn't actually turn it on until recently. Or I have the suspicion they
Mhm.
didn't actually turn them on until recently.
Did we ever figure out how many condensers were on Coast? Because those had been running a long time.
Yeah, Coast had, I believe, somewhere in the. I can't remember exactly the number, but it was in the range of a couple dozen.
Okay, but those had been running for centuries.
Those had been running for centuries, yes.
Speaking of, do those ever get addressed?
Nope.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Wow. Okay. It's probably not good.
Well, you know, it's fine. They've been there for centuries. What's the odds that it gets critical mass now?
Inside the next year.
Meanwhile, yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, this place is what was it? Over 100
Yes.
condensers running,
Right. Plus a
Uh-huh.
coordinated plan to help everybody find immortality under the blue sun. I mean,
or yeah.
yeah, there's nothing ominous about that.
So yeah, this
Armstrong-
place is clearly in a much greater risk of subsumption.
Armstrong has taken it upon themselves to, while they're supposedly active captain, to fill in the gaps of the condensers that they were able to identify. You know, they had basically a scatter graph of places on a globe, and Armstrong, being the algorithmic speed cuber sort, has figured out, or at least believes they have figured out, where all the other condensers would be if this were a consistent pattern, and says that there should be 180 condensers on this planet.
Boy. I guess the next question is, how long have they been running? But that's a whole other
So there, that would
calculation.
mean
Because that was how we determined did the estimate on Kosh, right? It's basically how far the effects had spread.
That's something you might be able to answer yourself if anyone on your team has the scientific know-how to figure out how long something has been being cooled. Because you know that that's an effect of the condensers.
Mhm.
And so you can probably date back to when did this thing start getting cooled?
Yeah, that Archibald.
actually that sounds like Christina's problem.
Okay. That is actually a fair note there.
Yeah, that sounds like Christina's problem and anybody else who knows physics math.
Let's see.
I feel like Connor would have known some physics math as a Starship pilot, but
Yeah, maybe not the right kind of physics math. Really,
Yeah,
it's
no,
earth science
that's true.
math,
That's
yeah.
true. Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, and you don't have
It's very
Connor with
different
you this time.
Right.
Yes. Anyways.
This actually borders on being a chemistry problem to a significant extent. Or an earth sciences one, or planetary sciences, I guess, is probably what they call it.
Or science.
Okay, so who thinks that do any of the PCs want to take a crack at that? You've got
Izya probably knows some things about atmospherics
Okay.
as an occupational hazard, right, as it were, but not a lot. I mean, he'd be willing to help.
okay. You have the tools for it. It's this is only going to require what is it The survey scanner, the handheld survey scanner, is something that would be able to let you try and discern this information. It's
Okay.
just needing some kind of actual knowledge, know-how of
Oh,
what
yeah,
you're looking
Izzy can
for with
operate
it.
one of those. That's fine. Whether he can interpret the data is a different question, but he can get it.
Well, that's actually what I'm looking for, is to who's interpreting the data. Any one of you can operate it. Who's interpreting that data? If nobody else, Christy would be a good choice.
I mean, is it going to be like intelligence and no?
I'm looking more for who's got that kind of knowledge in their background. It will end up being
Yeah,
intelligence, no, but yeah, it's
yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to have to be the two of them trying to figure it out from the sound of things.
well. Let's let Christy and Oogie then try and work this out.
Let me see. Ashanti was like biology kind of stuff mostly, right?
She was.
Yeah.
She can certainly lend some assistance also with her science background. Christy was Christy has the full spectrum basic
More
education.
generalized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Oogie and Christy and Ashanti working in coordination to try and think of something that that has specific properties and signatures as it's cooled, and obviously, water. Water is always a good example.
Water everywhere.
You find a pond, get around to measuring the depth, and that's something Oogie can do from his experience with oases. And then kind of use known data of this planet, what its temperature its average temperature should be around this time of year, with what little information you have, and then make a roll. So let's go ahead and have you roll int no for an assist on Christie's roll. All right. Okay.
Oh.
The condensers started running a week after that notice directed people to bunkers.
Yeah, okay. This is essentially just a planet-wide Kool-Aid event.
And they've been, so that's what, like a month ago?
Uh-huh. 180 condensers, assuming that none of them have malfunctioned, running for about a month.
So that seems unlikely. Based on with Coast is well, I don't know. Unless it's like exponentially less time with more condensers.
There's data that suggests being able to pack condensers more close together is highly beneficial.
Yeah. That actually makes sense too, especially if you're talking about like spreading the portals expanding in 3
Yeah.
Does this planet have an ocean?
Yeah, it does.
Is it big?
It's I don't think I defined it honestly.
Assuming that Earth's is big on account of taking up
Mm-hmm.
about 2/3 of the planet.
Right.
Is it bigger or smaller than Earth's?
The surface is evenly split between deep oceans and snowy landmass with a few long interconnected mountain ranges. So there is tectonic activity on this planet, and it is about half land, half ocean.
Oh, that's going to be. Well, the good news is that climatologically speaking, that should be really dry, compared to Earth. But other than that, it's not great news.
And the the effect that Jai postulated most likely contributes to that proximity speeding up is that the condensers eventually self-power and feed off of the infraworld and off themselves, etc. That whole thing where you try to turn it off and it won't.
You destroy it.
You're breaking up a little bit there, Nox. Can you repeat that?
I said at that point, we're just left with, destroying it.
You are. We're at 3 o'clock, so I want to go ahead and close our session here. Hope that was exciting revelations for everyone.